I said this 2 nights ago, that it's naive and it's wrong to say that all hardships are caused because of your sin. So when you're being tested, you say, Allah is punishing me. Alright? Because there are 2 ayat and they are not in tension with one another. Or 2 divine revelations, one in the form of the ayah, one in the form of the hadith. In the form of the ayah, وَمَا أَصَابَ مِن مُصِيبَةٍ, that no trial comes to you except بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ, because of what your hands have earned. And then the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, إِنَّ اللَّهِ إِذَا حَبَّ عَبْدًا ابْتَلَاهُ. If Allah loves a person, He tests him. Those aren't intention, because a test might come to you, or a trial might come to you for 2 different reasons. Okay, so they're not intention. And you don't know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does what He does. But when you insist upon a sin and you see a hardship come in your life, it is good for you as a means of disconnecting from that sin to attach the sin to the hardship. Is that clear to everybody? Or do I need to elaborate a little bit more? Yes, elaborate more. If I am committing a sin over and over and over again, consciously, knowingly, stubbornly, arrogantly, like let's say I'm earning a haram income. Alright, I'm earning a haram income. Or I'm doing something to someone. I'm wronging a family member. I'm wronging a brother or a sister or something like that. But I'm insisting upon a sin. Because Allah expects us to sin. But what Allah commands us not to do, وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ, they don't knowingly insist upon sin. They don't stubbornly insist upon sin. If in the process of committing my sin over and over and over again, something bad happens, and I say, this is Allah punishing me, or this is Allah telling me, you better quit or else, that's a good thing. So you can quit the sin. You need it. It's medicine for you. It's therapeutic. It has a good result. So you're not, you're telling yourself, this was a warning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because ultimately everything is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Everything is a sign of Allah's mercy, and everything is a sign of Allah's potential punishment. Because everything is a sign of Allah's mercy upon you, but everything also lends itself to the fact that Allah has power, ultimate power, right? So you remind yourself and you say, you know what, I need to quit this, because if I don't, then something else might happen, and these trials that I'm reaping in my life are because of my sins. The point that Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah makes here, that the greatest way to have what you want fulfilled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taqwa. Is being a person of God consciousness. Being a person of God consciousness. Now, I know it's late. I can see some of you guys kind of tired. I want you to pay very close attention to this particular point that I'm about to make here, inshallah ta'ala. Because the purpose of Ramadan, after all, is what? Taqwa. The purpose of Ramadan is God consciousness. The purpose of revelation is taqwa. Okay? Ya ayyuhan, the first command in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O people, u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum, worship your Lord who created you and created those before you, so that you may attain God consciousness, so that you may attain taqwa. Alright? So here's the point that I want to make. How does taqwa play into dua? How does taqwa play into dua? Most of the time, we forsake our principles. We forsake our principles out of hastiness to attain something, to get something, because we think that that's the only way we can get there. So when we become frustrated enough in our dua, and very few people will vocalize that. Very few believers will say, you know what, I'm not making dua anymore. I'm going to stop calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah doesn't give me anything. The only way to get this is to play dirty. The easiest excuse of like every businessman. Everybody else plays dirty. You want to succeed in this field? You got to play dirty like everybody else. You're not overtly saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, I'm not going to call upon you for rizq. I'm going to do it my own way. You're not vocalizing that, but your actions are saying that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you're not capable of giving me the rizq, the sustenance, without me compromising some of myself here. So I'm going to go about it my own way, meaning I'm going to entrust myself to myself. Alright? And then, when things start getting really, really, really rocky, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And then you come to the shaykh and say, I tried. You never tried. You never entrusted yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You entrusted yourself to yourself. But Allah was your insurance plan or your scapegoat, depending on where you are on that spectrum. Alright? You entrusted yourself to yourself the entire time. Because you were ready to forsake principle and to engage in sin because that's the only way I can get there. So what's he saying? The ingredient of the reason what causes the water to reach the land of your wishes is taqwa. Because وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whoever has consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will make a way out for him and will provide for him from ways that he did not even think about in the first place. You know what's very profound about that? Number one, Allah doesn't tell you how hard the makhraj is going to be to get to. But it's there. Alright? But if your taqwa, if your deen is your priority, your religion is your priority, you won't compromise your religion to get an easier exit out. You're not going to break the window. You're going to look for the exit. You'll take the extra effort to look for the exit and to have a smooth way out. So you won't compromise your deen in the process. And then you get out and you go, but wait a minute, but I lost this in the process, I lost that in the process. Allah does not guarantee you, because again, what's the point of test then? That He's going to give you in the same way that you were pursuing. Example, brother told me that I'm going to give up selling alcohol in my gas station, even though it's 30% of my sales. So mashallah, good for you. All right? He said, Allah's going to replace it, right? I said, yeah. Came back 2 years later, like really upset with me. He said, you said Allah was going to replace it. All right? And it was really interesting because I walked into his gas station like a week after he took the alcohol back, and like on the shelves where he used to sell alcohol, I don't know why, he had Buddha statues. And I was like, you went from alcohol to Buddha, like you got to put some candy on those shelves. All right? But he was upset with me. Like, you did this to me, right? You told me that everything would be okay and I'd get more. Allah would give me this. I said, yeah, so what's the point? He said that I lost 30% of my sales. Right? So I didn't grow. Like, Allah didn't replace. Not like other stuff kept on happening. So I told him, okay, I sat him down and I said, all right, well, look, you were having problems in your marriage a couple of years ago, weren't you? He said, yeah. I said, are you still having problems in your marriage? I was like, no, actually, funny enough, no, they're good now. Alhamdulillah, things have settled down on that front. I was like, and you're still being provided for, right? And I said, what are some good things that have happened in your life that weren't happening before? So he actually started to sit there and list like 5, 10 good things. And I said, you're not crediting any of that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I said, have you gone broke? Failed to make a payment on your house? Everything else fall apart? So what was the problem? The problem was he was crediting everything good to himself and crediting every delay and every deficiency to Allah. That's your problem. So what that means is, يَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Allah will provide you in ways that you did not even consider it before. Things happen in other parts of your life that stabilize its overall quality. And Allah provides for you because of your taqwa. Allah gives you what's good for you because of your taqwa. So again, it's not genie in a bottle. It doesn't work that way. Okay? But what he says here is that if taqwa is the reason by which Allah does good things for you in the first place, then how can engaging in heedlessness and sin bring about any good in my life?